Like always, I want to state a disclaimer. First of all, I'm not a speculator, I'm not a trader. Second disclaimer is I'm not a programmer or developer. And third disclaimer, since this video is about should you invest in Golem, I do want to state I hold a small portion of Golem. Now that is out of the way, let's now begin with this video. So let's first address what is Golem. Golem is a global, open source, decentralized supercomputer that anyone can access. It's made of combined power of users' machines from personal laptops and entire data centers. Now, what problem does Golem solve? Well, Golem is trying to solve the problem of computation power and pricing. Now, Golem can distribute tasks of rendering CGI literally in minutes that would take certain people days for cheaper. Well, that's what they state. Basically, what Golem does is this. It's a two-side market. The Golem allows users to either sell unused computational resources, so CPU and GPU time to others, or buy unused computational resources, so CPU and GPU from others. So you have two camps, whether you are an individual that wants to buy resources or you're an individual that wants to sell resources. It's very interesting because this industry that they're entering is roughly $175 billion a year, and that was from 2015. So maybe right now it's around $200 billion in 2017. So the industry itself, the market cap itself for online computation, whether that is AWS, whether that is Google, whether that is Microsoft, is quite big. So they're not entering a small space, but they're entering a very competitive space. Couple things to consider with Golem, okay? First of all, their crowdsale, so their ICO, literally only took 30 minutes and they raised around $8.6 million. They have a strong team. They have roughly 20 people. So from that $8.6 million, 12% will be locked up. So the total supply of Golem will be 1 billion, and 12% of the money raised, what they got, will be locked up away for the developers. So 20 people for the next 3 years will have finances to develop Golem, to build Golem, and to expand it. Currently today, Golem is sitting roughly around 21 cents. So if you look at the chart right here, you'll see from the initial time it was released till now, there's a slow buildup, and just recently it started to expand dramatically, and then currently sits at 21%. Now, it's a very interesting project that Golem is trying to do. I think it's a very bold project. I think it's a very huge project or huge undertaking they're trying to achieve. There's a couple of issues though I have with Golem. I love the idea. I think the idea makes sense. It makes business sense. It makes logical sense, which you can sell. If it's not an easy idea to explain to people, it's going to be very difficult to sell to people. That's one of my major issues when it comes to majority of these blockchain companies is I have no idea what they're talking about. They can't distill and dilute their problem or their unique selling proposition in a sentence. So how are you going to sell your idea if you can't explain it to me in a sentence? But Golem does that. It explains to me in a sentence. I get it. I understand the problem. I understand your solution. But my issue, I like to kind of play both sides over here. My issue is this. I'm still not convinced that it's going to be cheaper than me using, for example, AWS. I know it's decentralized. I know that it is crowdsourcing resources for people around the world, but first you got to create that platform. You got to create that distributed network. As opposed to if I have AWS right now, I'm paying literally pennies on the dollar. So I'm still not convinced yet that it's going to be cheaper. Number two, if you're looking at the roadmap currently, so they're from alpha release all the way down, their roadmap is roughly 8 years. That's a very long time for a startup to start getting some momentum and to see actual business success. So 8 years is a long time. I know like any startup, if you have your ideation, your roadmap, your plan, if you start here and you want to end up there, usually you start here, you end up over there. It's never how you intended to go. But 8 years is a long time. And maybe they're thinking very futuristically, but to me, that's a very long roadmap for them to see success. So conclusion. I think Golem, in general, has an amazing team. They've been doing this for a while. It wasn't just like yesterday they decided to do a crowd sale. They've been presenting their white paper, their idea since DevCon 1. They've been around for a couple of years together. They have a solid dev team. They have a solid leadership with the CEO. And I really believe in their team. And I think they're actually trying to solve a problem that may not be a problem today, currently, but maybe they see a problem in the future. I like the idea. I think it has validity. My only concerns, like I said, is I'm still not convinced for the pricing. It's cheaper for big corporations to use or even individuals to use. I like to see faster implementation. I know they're just planning to release, let me double check over here. They're planning to release their first version, Brass Golem, which is doing some alpha testing for people. So that's going to be interesting. I'll be checking that out myself. So my general summarization of Golem is, first of all, I think it's a fabulous idea. Second of all, I think they have an amazing team. Third of all, I think actually the crypto economics around it makes sense. Fourth of all, I do believe that they have huge potential, but the timing has to be right. And fifth of all, they need to work faster. So there you have it. Now it's up to you what you want to do based on this information. You can either invest, you can sit back and look at it, or what I recommend to most people, and this is what I recommend to everybody, is listen. The space isn't about just investing and speculating. That doesn't really help the blockchain ecosystem and create better technology. That's just, individuals trying to make money for self-interest. Nothing wrong with that. We all want to make money. However, what I suggest is actually reading up on the technologies, understanding the technologies, promoting the technologies to other people, and contributing in your own way. How can you speed up the ecosystem of Golem? How can you speed up the ecosystem of Ethereum? How can you speed up the proliferation of this technology around the world? That's my main advice to anybody. Don't just put money for the sake of putting money. That's no different than Wall Street people, where we're speculating on stocks, speculating on commodities, etc. You got to be a little bit different and start actually building up on the infrastructure and supporting the infrastructure itself. So there you have it. Like always, if you guys have any comments or questions, leave a comment below. If you find value in this video, share it with your tribe. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.